haven't met before. And today we are talking about email marketing. How many people here are actually using email for their marketing right now? Great. Awesome. How many people would like to learn a little bit more and use it more effectively? Yeah. So before we get started, Amy's telling me to stand over here on the spot. We're filming this today. This is going out as a live hangout. And if I don't stand in my spot, Amy's going to get mad. So today, myself, Jeff Harrison, and Amy Anderson from Swing Point Media are going to bring you the email marketing. Before I do that, I want to go around the room and just find out a quick few things about you, what your name is, what's your business, and what do you want to get out of today. So let's start down here. Let's start over here. Debbie, you can give us a quick hello and just who you are, and then you don't have to tell us what you want to get out of today.
I am Debbie Cohen, and I'm a mentor with SCORE. And if any of you need help with any aspect of your business, any problems, I can probably either help you myself or find somebody who has expertise in whatever your problem is.
Great. I'll give you a quick rundown of what SCORE is in just a moment. Hello.
Hi, I'm Nina Venturella, and I'm the CEO and founder of Majestic Wellness Academy. We're a coaching academy. We put on health and wellness educational seminars, programs, things like that.
Awesome. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Linda Yeager, and I'm a product broker, and I'm here to learn how to brand myself. I've been working by myself, and I have reached my level of incompetence, so I'm reaching out.
Excellent. Thank you, Linda. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Brian Escobar, and I'm the owner of All Valley Tool and Repair, lead technician, lead marketing guy, all that kind of stuff. And as we've been in business for 3 years now, we're looking to find new channels to work with, and email marketing being one of the highest on the list as far as getting the word out there. We're looking to be educated better in this aspect of it.
Great. Thanks, Brian. Coming.
George Adolph, internet marketing and interior design. Like to learn more about email marketing because that's the way to do it in the future now.
Thanks, George.
Joanne Collins, I'm the owner of Bono Organizers. We're a full-service organizing company for residences and business offices. I'm here because I want to learn about email marketing on my website.
Great. Thank you, Joanne.
I'm Mark Weber. I'm Economic Development Manager for the City of Coachella, and we just want to help our businesses understand how they can be more successful and try to grow businesses organically in our city, as we're going to be the fastest growing city in the Coachella Valley.
There you go.
So we want to make sure that we kind of help our businesses.
Great. Thanks, Mark. Other than that, Ron, let's give a quick shout out who you are.
I'm Ron Johnson. I'm with SCORE, and I do the basically special events and workshops.
Thank you, Ron. Hello.
Good morning. I'm another Ron. I'm a service manager at Coachella Valley. We do a lot of emergency situations when people have water damage. We also do other services, and I want to be able to market to our customers.
Right. Good. Welcome.
I'm Greg Birdsall, and I just started a company called ProWatch Home Services, and we are basically a residential concierge service.
Great. Thank you for coming. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. I'm Dick Froman. I'm VP of Marketing and co-owner of Benchmark Displays in Palm Desert. We manufacture, market, and sell plastic brochure holders for promotional literature and displays for products at retail.
Right.
And we're cognizant of the power of email marketing. We do some of it, but we want to know how to do it better.
Right. Well, you're in the right place.
Holly Agliolo, Keller Williams Realty, and I'm already email marketing my listings, but I'm sure you can teach me more.
I hope so. And one late cover. Good morning.
Hi, sorry to be late. My name is Jason Press. I used to run a social media agency in Los Angeles. My background is in branding and sales promotion.
Great.
And currently run an email list for my neighborhood organization as well as fundraising events.
Awesome. Great. Thanks for coming. Sure. So, as I said, my name is Andrew McCauley. I've got my own business. It's a digital media agency called Autopilot Your Business. So, getting online, if you want to get online, get found online, or even get assistance online, then that's what we do. Jeff, you want to give a quick spiel about
Yeah, my name is Jeff Harrison. We have a company called Swing Point Media, and our main platform is called My City Business Review. It's the largest site of its kind. It's just a review site for businesses in the Coachella Valley and growing. They're specifically short videos that we can go to as consumers and say, hey, what is it about Nina's business that I want to know more about? And it's an informational type of video. We also do long form videos, whether it's to promote your business. If you want to make a TV show, we do things like that as well. So thank you for having us here.
And we're here in the SCORE offices. For those that don't know what SCORE is, it's a volunteer organization that's in conjunction with the SBA, Small Business Association of America. And SCORE has about 330 different chapters across the US with about 14 or 15,000 volunteers. Essentially, they offer mentoring sessions free, which is good. Who likes free? Free mentoring sessions from all the retired executives that want to give back to the community. So if you've got a business, you want to ask some questions, you want to run some ideas past them, or you even want to get some ideas yourself about your business, then come along to the SCORE offices here every Monday to Friday between 9 and 12. They have sessions available for everybody. So highly recommend it. Both Jeff, Amy, and myself have also been here. And there's a few of you I know that have been here too. So if you are looking to get some great information, great mentoring, then this is the place to do it. They also offer a lot of other classes, and they're on their website as well. We've got some business classes coming up, as well as the Sunrise Business Masterminds. All right. Any questions about any of that? No. Good. I like no questions. So today we're going to talk about email marketing. Now, how many people go to events and take lots of notes and then get home and think, oh, can't even read my own notes, right? So here's what I like to do. I like to give you some handouts to make it easy for you. Who's up for making it easy? Yeah. All right. So let me give you out some of these. In fact, if you could take some of that and pass it along that way, just take one and pass it along. You do the same there, and you do that. There is one little caveat though. There are some spaces and gaps, which means you have to pay attention in order to get these notes fully filled out. So you'll see the answers to these gaps come through on the slides that we've got this morning. If there is any answers that you can't see, then just raise your hand so we can. If there's any spares, I'll take those ones. Any extras? But that's the perfect amount. All right. So first thing I want you to do. Thank you. First thing I want you to do. I want you to have a look at. I want you to have a look and see if you can read that question. What are your clients worth to you? I'll just take 30 seconds just to write down somewhere. What do you think your client, one single client would be worth to you in dollars, in dollar terms? So if you could work that out, what would that be? And it could be a figure that you're not sure of. And if you're not sure, just put a question mark. If you do know what that client would be worth to you, just put that down on the corner of the paper down the bottom there somewhere. Let's take 20, 30 seconds to figure that out. And we'll go through a little calculation in just a moment.
You want volume or profit on volume?
In dollar terms. In dollar terms for profit, what would that be for you? How much money could you make per client that you have? And if that's, did you get that down?
I got it down.
You got it down. You're so quick. All right. Let's have a look at an example. So basically, the way you want to calculate this out is what's the average value of your sale? What's the average value that you sell to a customer? Multiply that by the number of repeat transactions. So if you've got, we'll go through an example at the moment. Once you've done that, you're going to multiply how many times are they likely to come back. Either you do that in years or months. If they're a regular client, they may come back every couple of months. If they're not as regular, for instance, Holly may not have a person that buys a house, the same person buy a house every month, but they may buy it every couple of years. So in that case, you would use years. So an easy example would be the lifetime value of a gym member who spends $20 every month for 3 years. Okay, so what would be the lifetime value of a gym member who spends $20 every month for 3 years? Anyone good at math?
720.
720. There you go. Good job. So 20 times 12 times 3 is 720. Does everyone see how we got that? Got that? So that would be the lifetime value would be $720 or $240 per year. Would you spend, if you knew that figure, would it make sense for you to spend at least $100 to obtain that client? Holly?
Absolutely.
Yep. How much would you spend? How much would you spend in order to get a client like that? How much would you spend up to in order to get a client like that?
Just one client like that?
Yeah, well, just one, yeah. So how much per client? How much would you spend per client?
Oh, $100 easy. I spend a lot of money on it.
Right.
Per
So
line.
so would you spend 100? Would you spend any more than 100?
Maybe.
How much more than 100?
Well, I can only tell you what I spent for mine. I mean, I spent a lot.
Just in this example. Just in
Okay,
this
well,
example. If this is the example that we're
Okay,
sticking to.
I will go 100.
Okay. So would you spend if you spend 150, would you still make money?
Yes.
If you spent 240, would you still make money?
Yes.
Right, because the lifetime value of a client is actually longer than just 1 year, right? So you could potentially spend almost $720 and still break even. Does that make sense?
Right.
But a lot of people don't. A lot of people see the spending rather than the profit they could make over a period of a lifetime. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. So I want you to think about that as we talk about email marketing, and we'll show you some examples of what that means and how this figure can really impact your bottom line. So let's have a look. Email marketing delivers the highest return on investment, which is about $44 per dollar spent. So if you were to spend $1,000 on email marketing, according to this, how much would you get likely to get back? 44,000, right? $44,000. This is on average. Now, this is not for every industry, but it's on average. The second best one is SEO, apparently, and I would be inclined to disagree with that in today's current market. But according to these stats, SEO is the second most highest return on investment. Businesses who continue to market during a recession outpaced those that reduced or eliminated email marketing. Businesses who continued to market during a recession. Over a 5-year period, there was 275% growth for those businesses compared to just 19%. Are you seeing those in your notes, by the way? Have I been skipping some of those over? And here we go. Here's the first one. The average sale takes place after 5 contacts. 5 contacts, the average sale. So that means once somebody comes to your website or they've emailed you, it's going to take 5 times to connect with those people before you actually get a sale from it. And yet less than 5% make it past 3 contacts. Less than 5% of the businesses actually contact somebody more than 3 times, which is pretty scary in itself. And it leaves lots of opportunities on the tables. So what does this mean to me, and how can this help me? If you've got any questions throughout the morning, make sure you yell out. So I want to break down a few components of email. Now, this is from the front end, meaning that this is what a customer gets to see. Okay, so the front end is what is visible to the customer. The from person, who is the email from? This is a big part of a lot of people opening emails and actually taking effect, is because the name on your from field is important to people. Okay, so if it's something that they don't know, or they're not recognizing, or they don't know who that person is, they're likely not going to open your email. Subject line. How many people would agree that they open emails according to subject lines? Yes. Yeah. So I'm going to dig in a little bit of subject line information in just a moment. We've got the body of the email. So once the subject line has done its job, i.e. opening up, getting a person to open up that email, then the body is the next part. The call to action. So what is it that you want them to do? Why are you sending them out an email? What do you want them to do? And then we've got the unsubscribe function on the bottom of an email. Can anybody else think of anything else that is important in emails when you're looking at an email from a user? Pictures in an email. I'll put that in under the body. So whether it's videos or pictures, but yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Brevity.
So the length of it is good. Mm-hmm. Yep. Once again, I'm going to loosely put that in the body, but there are people who still send out Gone with the Wind style emails. How many people read that? I'll read it tomorrow. Tomorrow's the best day to read emails because you never get to it, right? Mm-hmm. Anything else? Ron, did you have your hand up?
No.
Good note.
The time of day or the day?
Time of day. Perfect. Yeah. So time of day is great. And I didn't put that on here, but time of day can be really important. If you know when your customers are reading emails, then that's important. So if your customers are business people that read their emails during business hours, 9 o'clock, 10 past 9, 9:30 could be good, or it may even be 12:30 when they have a break for lunch when they get all their other stuff done. It may be other entrepreneurs that read their stuff early in the morning. You've got to know what your target market is. The other flip side to that time is the length of time that email sits in their inbox. Usually 2 days will be about as much life of that email you've got, and the rest of it just junk comes over the top and they lose that email. Or they mark it as read later tomorrow and it never does. So if your email is not open within 2 days, if you're looking at figures, and we'll talk about those in just a moment, but if you're looking at specific stats for your email open rates and stuff like that, and you're waiting a week to see if those stats get any better, it's probably not going to get any better. All right, anything else?
Day of the week is important too.
Day of the week, yeah. That's what we spoke about that. Good day week. So some days for certain industries are better than others. Mondays are usually a terrible day because everyone's trying to catch up on stuff that's coming over the weekend. All right, so components of an email in the back end. Oops, let me go that again. So what sort of service are you using? What sort of autoresponder service are you using? How many people here use Constant Contact? A couple people. How many people use MailChimp? Everyone use MailChimp? What else have we got? Aweber? Infusionsoft? Anyone with Infusionsoft? No? What other ones are you using out there?
Used Emma before.
Which one?
Emma.
Emma? Okay. Are you still using that now?
No.
No? George?
I just had a question.
Oh, okay. 1 sec. I'll come back to you in a minute. Any other, anyone using the usual, the Outlook or the Gmail sort of services? Yep. Okay. We'll talk about those in just a minute. George, you have a question?
The days of the week, are there any particular days, 2 days, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday? Are the weekends good?
It depends on your industry. It depends on your industry. And depends what you're sending out as well. And it's one of those things where once you get to know who your customers are, and Jeff's going to talk about this in a minute, about segmentation. Once you know who they are, then it's going to be important to send it out on the right days. And there's a number of services that will show you that as well. Let's look at deliverability. So is the email delivered effectively? There's a lot of different services out there, a lot of different email providers. Some have better deliverability than others. Now, deliverability means, does the email get to the recipient in the first place? I think it's something like 78%. 78% of all emails get to their end recipient. 22 of them, 22% they never even see it. It just disappears. And that's usually because of either the quality of your email, the quality of the service that you're using, and a number of other factors as well.
Do you mean it goes in the junk box?
It could go in a junk box. Most often it does go in a junk box or a spam box, but sometimes it doesn't even get there because the service that they're using could have a low quality deliverability, if that makes sense. But yeah. Open rates. Now, open rates is another extremely important part because here's the thing, you can have the best message in the world, sending it out to people, and if they don't open that email, then what's the point of your message? Does that make sense? So does anybody know what the standard open rate is across the board for most emails? Standard open rate? You want to have a guess? You probably know.
I was thinking maybe 6%?
2%.
No, open rates themselves are around about 15 to 20%. 15 to 20%, which means if you have a list of 100 people, you send an email, only 20 of those people are likely to open the email in the first place. So if you spend a lot of time coming up with great subject lines, great content, nice pictures, only 20 out of 100 are going to open that email, which sort of seems not worth it, right? Yet it's still the best return on investment that we've got. It's pretty scary when we've got figures like that. So that's an open rate. Click-through rate. What's a click-through rate? Anyone want to guess what a click-through rate is? George?
Go to your site, maybe.
What's that?
Go to your website if it's showing in the email.
Inside the email, it's a link. Usually there's a link. And so back to your point about brevity, you might have an email that's written and it says, for find out more information, click here. And that link that's clicked is what they call a click-through rate. Now, the industry average for that is about less than 2%. It's 1.7%.
That's why I guess that's what I was.
That's exactly what I knew you were thinking. I knew you were thinking that. Exactly. 1.7%. So out of all of those people, it's less than 2 people are going to click on your email out of 100. That's industry average. Industry average, which is pretty sad. So if you could increase your open rates.
Sorry, that's 2% of the 15%?
Yeah, it's 2%. It's 2% of your 15% that open it. That's right. So it's not even 2% of 100. It's 2% of 15. If you can increase your open rate, let's say you can increase your open rate from 10% to 20%, then this is automatically going to rise just because you have that percentage. Now, if you could increase your click-through rate as well, would that make sense to you to really increase your revenues, right? Okay. Final one is the conversion rate, and the conversion rate is usually how many people do you email actually convert into a sale. How many people can convert into a sale? Okay, so I'm not going to go through into those too much more deeply, but they're the components, some of the components of a back-end part of your email. Joel, I can see your eyes glazing over.
Yeah.
All right, no more figures for that. Okay, no more figures. So I want to talk about subject lines themselves, because subject lines, as I said, are one of the most important parts of your email. 64% of people say they open an email because of their subject line, and I think when I asked you that just before, I'm sure that there was 64% of you said that. So I'm spot on with those numbers. Let's have a look at some email things to avoid in an email subject line. Holly, I don't think you do any of these. Let's check them out. Using the word help. Using the word help in your subject line is not good. It lowers your open rates. So if someone sees the word help in an email, like, please delete. Percentage off. Using the word percentage off, or that term, percentage off in your email stinks of what?
Promotion.
Sales and promotion, right, exactly. Reminder. Who wants to be reminded? Reminder. So using those three, help, percentage off, and reminder, are things that are not going to get your emails open any quicker at all. Also, full caps. Someone's screaming at you, open my email. And then the other one is exclamation points. Having a bunch of those in an email subject line really turns people off pretty quick. So if you're using any of those, stop it. Stop it. What can you use instead? What sort of things can you use instead? Here's 3 things. Come on, transitions. Localized content, such as including a city name, does. Your Coachella Valley, you can put Coachella Valley in there so that people know, hey, this is an email for me because I'm in the Coachella Valley. People used to say, putting your first name in an email would help, but a lot of people are onto the fact that that's not a personalized thing anymore. It's done through a service, so it doesn't help. But having a city name or a localized something that can often perform better as well. So if you can put a question in your subject line, that will perform a lot better. And subject lines should be kept to 50 characters or fewer. Anyone know why? Holly, what do you think?
Well, actually, I use a subject line many times and not put anything in the body if I want somebody just to look at a property. Because I know they're going to glance at it and go, oh, do I want to see that or not?
Right. So do you put the address of the property in there?
And I'll say listing from Holly. Well, I don't always put the address. I put listing from Holly and then the town.
And there's nothing in the body?
I'll have a link to it.
Right.
Or I'll have the address there.
Okay.
But that's.
But is that for one person or is that for the entire list?
No, that's for one person.
One person. One person is a little bit different. If I'm emailing you, I don't need to stick to 50 characters. I don't need to stick to these rules because it's one-on-one. Right? We're connecting. It doesn't matter. This is for when you're doing a mass email out to a lot of people. Okay, one-on-one is going to be different rules altogether.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Does it make sense? So if you're emailing it to a lot of people at once, then this is going to make sense. Okay. Did you have a question?
No, I'm curious about the 50 characters.
Okay, so good question. I'm glad you're curious. So here's why 50 characters. There is this is an email that we sent out. Some of you may have seen this yesterday. This is an email that we just sent out for today's class, right? Some of you saw it. Good, it worked. Yes. So up the top here, how many characters in that up there? Anyone count? Correct, 65 characters. I'm glad you counted. There's 65 characters. I did this on purpose. I wanted to do a little bit longer than 50 characters, and I wanted to show you why. So there's a service out there called litmus.com. You guys can use those. Is it lets you put your subject line in its field, and you can even copy the body of your email into it, and it shows you what and 7. All right, so 2003, if you're still using it, that's okay. But what this did, when I had the ampersand symbol, it cut off Jeff, completely got rid of it. Now this is interesting, right? Because if you're a partnership or your business is called something and something, this could be important that you think, you know what, we're building a relationship because we've established who we are, and that means something to somebody. Now, an email just coming out from Andrew, could be a million Andrews in the world, trillion Andrews in the world. It doesn't mean anything. They don't have that connection anymore. So this was a good tool for me to say, wow, that's interesting that I don't do that again. Yes.
It's interesting using this as an example because I knew I had to come to SCORE today, and I remember reading 64% and you were doing this, but I was looking for an email from SCORE when I wanted to find the address.
Right.
And I don't know Andrew.
Right, exactly the point. So just having 10 letters in my name, because when I went and put my full name in there, it easily, this is still 2003, it brought my full name up. So I know it wasn't a case of it's only a certain amount of letters, it's actually the symbols that I'm putting in there. Outlook was cutting this off. Does that make sense?
So you're only, wait a minute. So Litmus looks at the platforms.
Yeah, Litmus does a lot of, it does all sorts of things like making sure that your links and all that sort of stuff works if you want to pay the full service. This one here just looks at what does your email look like on these platforms. Now this is just 2003. If I go along,
if you did it on another platform, it would look different.
I'm going to show you that in a minute. Yeah. So it's one rather than me going and opening up all these email accounts with Yahoo and Gmail and Outlook and finding, well, to test it, I could just go to Litmus and punch it in once, and it gives me all of the results on one page. So this is 2007. So this just goes back to what my email looks like on somebody who's reading. How many people are using 2007? 2007 still. So that's what it would have looked like. These are the notifications that pop up for 2007. This is 2010. Gmail. This is what Gmail looks like. So you can see here, this is 50 characters at the end of T. So I can see that 64% of people say they have an email because now I've either left you hanging on purpose or it's cut off. Now, what if that was a really super important thing? Holly, what if the address that you had in your email, let's say you're sending it out to other people. Now, this will happen when it's one-on-one. The address of the best house you'll ever see is, and it's cut off. People aren't going to see that. They're going to have to click into it. But you want to make sure that if people scan emails, because I know I've got probably now nearly 8,000 or 9,000 unread emails in one of my boxes, I'll scan those subject lines. I don't care what's in the topic. And if it doesn't grab me, it's gone. Anybody else do that? Yep. Okay, so that's what Gmail looks like. Yahoo Mail, same deal, cuts off at 50, doesn't even give me any content at all. And I think, this is BlackBerry. Anyone using BlackBerry still? Let's use BlackBerry away.
No, I don't have any more, but I love them though.
So this is in a BlackBerry. This gives you a bit more of the whole thing, except it does cut off there. It gives you a bit more of a subject. Now this Litmus, if you want to pay a service, I wouldn't suggest, just at least get some idea about using Litmus with the free version. But it goes and tests all things like all the iPhones, all the Galaxy tablets, and all sorts of other email service providers out there. Did you have a question?
Well, it's just kind of ironic because when your email popped up, I was actually doing a training through Webinar Jam because I'm learning how to do webinars. And the subject I was looking at is how to do a subject line. And I looked on my email, I saw it. So this is it. I come here. That's why I came here this morning.
Cool.
So that's perfect.
Hey, good. So that is that's Litmus. Now I just went through my this is my emails, and I quickly looked at, these are my marketing emails, and I quickly looked at, I thought, you know what, if that's the case, I want to go and see which ones are using 50 characters or less. And I checked out, a lot of these ones are pretty short. You can see these are all pretty short because they understand that 50 characters is as far as they're going to go. I'm not going to read more than that. Now, this one here is a little bit more than 50 characters. Why does it come up in mine? it's going to depend on the service. I'm using Google Apps for Business, which gives me a little bit more leeway with certain things like this. It also depends on how your emails are set up in the first place. What I just showed you was usually the default settings for those services. So you may have a little bit different, but as I said, what I wanted to know was these people that are all marketers, I wanted to see how long they were doing, how long were their email subject lines, and pretty much they're all within 50. I went to my spam box and found most of them were much longer than 50. So it sort of tells me Google are looking at the length of emails as well, although they won't tell you this, but they're looking at things going, well, if this is longer than 50, it could be a spammy sort of message because a lot of people will have as much crap they can jam in a subject line as possible. Any questions about that sort of stuff?
Will that affect any of your analytics from Google?
On Google Analytics or email analytics? Email analytics, yes. Not Google. None of this is connected to a website. I haven't even mentioned websites. This is all about email. But yeah, it will. Because this email here, I haven't opened these. They're sitting in my box. I haven't opened them. So if this person here, Amish, was looking at his email statistics, he would see that because I haven't opened my email, the open rate is a little bit less. If I clicked on that, his email open rate would raise. Yep. So the idea is to get as many people as you can open your emails.
But the 50 characters makes a difference.
It can. It can. All I'm saying is it can make a big difference. The subject line is designed to do one thing. What is that, do you think?
The open rate.
It's to get people to open your email.
Get people's attention.
Get people's attention. Like the one thing you want the subject line, because no one can click on a subject line and take you to a website. There's no clickable link in a subject line. So the idea is open this, get as creative as you can to see how do I get people to open this up. And once they open it, then I can say, right, now I've got your attention. Here's why it's important. And if somebody opens an email and sees a bunch of text, it usually stays like that real quick and then no one reads it any further. All right, Jeff, I think we're ready for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to list segmentation. How do you segment a list and why is that important? So let's go for Jeff Harrison.
How was that? That helpful? That helpful with that for you?
Glad you woke me up.
No, it's good stuff. So list segmentation, what is that? Anybody have any idea what list segmentation might mean? Yes, Holly?
I think that it means certain emails go to certain groups of people.
Yeah. As an example, Holly's a real estate agent. Let's say she sells 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes, and they're in a certain price range. Well, then she's going to look and prospect for those people who fit that demographic and then send information to them that they would be most relevant, right?
Exactly.
Nina, you do the same thing in your industry, right? Everyone would do that. How many of you are actually doing this? Where you're saying, hey, I know these are the people in my email list, and I'm saying, okay, these people, this is the information I get from them. This information they should receive, and vice versa. How many of you are actually doing that? Now, don't feel bad if you're not. Manually, yeah, it's tough.
I want to do it.
You'd like to do it.
I
Well,
want to do it.
you want to do it.
I'm just not doing it.
It's incredibly
So I'm sitting
valuable.
here.
Yeah, it's incredibly valuable. As we do it, and we'll show you towards the end how we segment our list of people and then send relevant content based on that. So I like to think of it as something you're saying, hey, you know what? I'm building my own social media platform. Who would like to have their own Facebook? That they don't tell you, you don't tell yourself, you can't put that on there. That's not a good ad, that type of thing. So you're going to be able to build it yourself because now you're communicating with your best audience. And they already know, like, and trust you, or they wouldn't be on your email list, right? Because they have to opt in. I want you to do me a favor. You in the back, man, what's your name?
Joanne?
Joanne, do you have an email list?
No, I do not. Yeah.
Okay. You have an email list?
Several.
Okay, so let's just take one of those. When you talk to them, are you sending emails of things you would like to sell them? And you have to answer this. Are you selling the things that you want to sell them or things that are of high value as far as their wants and needs?
Definitely high value.
High value wants and needs. You're in a very, very small group. Because most people, we're selling what we have, right? And all of a sudden we become white noise and we get turned off. We can change all that with list segmentation. Here's some facts to inspire you to start that, Nina, today. Okay. First of all, your open rates increased by 39%. Wow. What did Andrew say the average open rate was on emails? How much?
15%.
So between 15 and 20%. Okay. Wow. All of a sudden, that gives you a tremendous amount of people that are actually listening and participating in your message. It also lowers opt-outs by 28%. So people say, I'm tired of getting these emails, right? I'm going to cut that off. It increases revenues by 24%. How would I like to get a 24% raise this year by using email? That's what it's proven to do. Customer retention, 21%. This is the part I think sometimes we're working with a new client, and I know they're anxious to get new clients, but let's take care of the ones you have, because those are actually easy to resell and get more referrals from. Would anybody disagree with that?
Yes.
If you do, raise your left hand, just like a counter, okay? You can see there's a lot of things here. Sales leads, 24%. Greater revenue, we talked about that. Improve word of mouth. That's still one of the strongest forms of advertising and marketing is word of mouth. And if you give them things to talk about that are valuable to them, wouldn't they want to share that? Right? Here's something, and you know, when I got this was on the 31st of August. Now, ironically, I'm back there. Yeah, I was checking my emails when Andrew was talking. And do me a favor. Would you tell me, Holly, who that's from and what time I received it?
Staples and at 8/11.
8/11. Okay, so just a few minutes ago, I got this from Staples. Now, how many have ever bought something from Staples? Okay. Now, what does it say? Big savings for back to school. Guess what? I have no children. I'm not going back to school, right? Is this targeted to me, or is it like this, what I'll call cast advertising or cast emailing? So when I see this now, they have actually now, almost every day I get this, Holly. And so what they've done is, this is white noise. The only reason I open up is for two reasons. One, to show you this one, and one, to show you the recent one. They send it to me every day. I do not open them. I consider it junk mail. And here's the sad part. If they would have looked through their records, which I know they keep all this electronically, this one is office supply cleaning equipment. I've never bought Bounty at Staples. I didn't even know they carried Tide. You ever know they carried Tide at Staples? I didn't, okay? But now, there's some other things I'm interested in. I just spent money for paper. I could have gotten it for a penny because I would have gotten a refund on that. I'm going there later. But see, they've lost me because they just send all this stuff all the time. They're just trying to hopefully get something on me, right? So that's turned me off. So that is the reality. Most major companies are not doing segmentation. It is very difficult, especially the larger the list gets. We all know it's hard to stop that snowball when it's coming down the hill, the larger it gets. But wait, there is an answer. 32% intend on dedicating time to it. That's according to HubSpot. So Nina, you fall right now, hey, I want to do it. I intend to get it done. 52% say they need improvement. Staples was in that. This was August. This is today. Have they changed? No, none. So how do you segment your list? What would be a good way to segment your list? Like you're city of Coachella, right? So who are your people in your email list?
Well, I'll have some prospective businesses. I'll have existing businesses. I'll have stakeholders.
Okay.
So different categories there.
Okay. Now, in your list, are they segmented that way?
No.
Okay. So when you have to send an email, do you have to go through and manually pick those people you think? Yeah, that's brutal. So how often do you really want to do that?
It definitely limits me.
It's either that or have your eyelashes ripped out, right? Okay. So the easiest way to do this is you want to create questions. Think of your specific industry. What's your specific industry? Social media?
Yeah.
But now you're here in the desert. Is it still the same?
No, not so much.
Okay, so what's your specific industry now?
Well, like right now I'm promoting an event.
Cool. So who are those people who want to come to that event? What do they look like, sound like, feel like? Or maybe not feel.
Yeah, they're adults. Actually, it's interesting. There's two groups. There's one group of moms with kids.
Okay.
And all of them are going to be yoga enthusiasts. So it's a yoga event.
Okay.
People who live in Palm Desert that are interested in yoga between the ages of 18 and 65, typically. They tend to be women and some with kids because there's a kids section for this event.
Great. Okay. So he has an idea. Nina, you're in the health industry, right? Coaching health, right? Okay. Same idea.
You can start cutting it down by gender. His target market sounds like it's mostly women.
Mostly women.
And then age could be that 1865, but also children, right? So it could be lower than that. But how many of those 7 and 8 years are probably, well, maybe not today in the days market, but a lot of them are reading your emails.
Yeah, it's gonna be the moms.
Yeah.
Not the kids themselves.
Exactly. But when you're writing an email, do you want to appeal to those people that how they can care for their children, how it's going to make their life better?
Yeah.
Start yoga now. Okay. Stretch their life expectancy. Frequency, right? How often are you sending that out? And their buying habits. So as an example, Holly, back in real estate, buying habits. How often do your clients buy new homes?
About once every 5 years.
About once every 5 years. That's shocking because you think, I've lived in my home for 14 years. But before that, we had 3 other homes, and we did that in a process of less than 5 years, right? Our real estate agent loves us. So know your buying habit of your clients. Dick, where they travel and the average, interesting. That could be questions to ask. Here's an example. There's a company here in town, I won't mention it, it's Bermuda Dunes Country Club. And Amy is a member there. Now, I don't pick them out except we have specific records from that. From her club, she's getting an average of 7 emails a day. Now, here's kind of the topics. Men's member guest, Friday night fish fry, women's golf, men's day. She's turned it off. But this is the flood of emails. So they're wasting their effort. If they set it up and said, hey, Amy, what things are you interested in? She might get 1 or 2 emails a week and she'll open it because that's something that interests her. Okay? Here's how we do our segmentation. We simply say, hey, when you're here, text the word sunrise into 96,000. We have it set up so when you text that in, we immediately know you were at this event. And it immediately goes into a folder or a funnel, if you will, and says, hey, you were here and you were for this event. You were here for email. So if we want to talk about email stuff, we know you had an interest because you're here. Then to keep in touch with you, we have created these, we call them Tool Time Tip Tuesdays, where Andrew and I stand up and for about 3 minutes, we talk about tips, about tools that we can all use in our industry. There is no selling. It's simply a resource that comes out once a month on, what do you think, what date, Nina?
Monday or?
Tuesday. We call them Tool Time Tip Tuesdays. I know there's a lot of T's in there, so yeah.
I
So
said the Tuesday.
that's okay. So that's what we do, and that's how we follow up with you, right? We build that relationship. So that's how we do that right there. So that's kind of segmentation in action. The best way to do this, gang, and we're about ready to do this for a company here locally, is we're going to start out with a survey, and it's going to start like this, Dick. Hey, we're sorry we've been sending you way too many emails. And so we can talk to you personally and more on an individual basis. From the list below, please check the things that would be relevant and you'd be interested in what we provide to come to you. And now you decide, right? You can use something as simple as Survey Monkey. So even if you ever have your list, Nina, I guarantee your people will appreciate this. Because you're going, hey, finally somebody's listening. I'm not interested in that other stuff. I'm only interested, like as an example, you could do this today and it would make your world so much easier because now you're saying, I want to talk to those prospective businesses. Great, you write a letter for them, hit send, and it only goes to those people. And then when they respond, you know, hey, how did I do? Okay? So, simple steps to segmenting your list for better results. Make that survey. Segmentation should be a relationship building process. So as an example, I use that if I go into a establishment, it's a nightclub, okay, it's a Nest, and I see because I've heard Holly goes in there, and I saw her open. I said, I need to know this guy. So I see her in there. The first thing I walk up to her, I engage in a relationship building process. I introduce myself. She introduced herself. Hey, do you like to dance? Let's dance. Hey, can I buy you a drink? Whatever. In other words, there's a process. I'll stop there. There's a process. Okay. It is a Nest. Okay. So anybody associated with the Nest? Just willing to raise her hand? No. Okay. So segmentation should be a building process. What would you ask a person you just met beyond their name? I just gave that example, right? So we don't go for that home run the very first time. I know when you're probably sending out, when you're, tell me if you're right or wrong, when you're first doing your social media marketing, you're trying to create a sale. Do you immediately go for the most expensive item you offer?
No.
No, there's an upsell, right? Right. There's something that Andrew uses quite well, and many people in the internet industry, a $7 tripwire. Hey, did you like what we did for $7, right? So then it goes to a little bit more. We're know, like, and trust. That's like, hey, can I buy you a drink for $7? That's not too hard to invest in. But use a survey. SurveyMonkey now, I just read this morning, you can have up to 2 million people that you can send information out on surveys. It's amazing. They have brand new templates, and I don't get a lot for saying SurveyMonkey, better get some. So if you do sign up, please use this particular, no, I'm just kidding. Okay, SurveyMonkey. It's a building relationship, not an interrogation. So be careful with your questions. Is it being friendly? Is this something I'd ask somebody I just met? The type of question. Like, what kind of questions would you ask, Linda? If you were starting to segment your list, what one question would you ask to help decide, hey, what are you interested in?
Whatever they're involved in, their niche.
Because you have a lot of products, don't you? What's the one product that we offer that would help you promote your business better? And maybe then you segment that, right? Pens, pencils, cups, posters, whatever it may be. Does that make sense? What's your business?
Home services.
Home services.
Like concierge home services.
Wow. Do we use that in the Valley at all?
Yes.
Yeah, all day long. I need your card. Okay. Become an expert at one question surveys. You know, if you're making cake, be the best at making cake. Don't try to be everything. So figure out what that is. What's that one question? And you might do this 4 or 5 times, because here's the thing. Would you have a question or a time, Ron, to say, you know, here's a question, would you mind answering this? And it's one question. Would you have time for that?
Sure.
Next week, if I ask you another question, again, digging a little deeper, building our relationship, would you have time for one more question?
Sure.
So put them out there in one question at a time, and realize relationship building is a process. It's not today, okay? Tags. Anybody know what tags are? Tags, you're it. Think of tags like names of a group of friends, okay? These are my best friends. These are people I know on the internet. These are my Facebook friends. So if you ask age, give a range. You used a perfect example of that. 18 to 28, 29 to 35. So that's a tag. So when they start coming in, you know this is your age range if you ask that. Hey, you've been on our list for a while. I'm just curious because we have different ranges of products for different age demographics. What age do you fall in? Oh, okay, yeah, I can do that. Although, do me a favor, I'm about ready to turn 55, so try to kind of group them with like 45, 56. I feel better about that. Then the tag when the answer separates the segments into groups. Pretty easy. You know, what would you, like, you send your entire group. What would you be most likely to categorize yourself in? A business just starting up? I'm sorry, you gave 2 other things. Current businesses and
Perspective. And add prospective businesses and stakeholders.
Stakeholders, okay? And they'll tell you. And as soon as that happens, it separates it right away. Imagine if you owned a grocery store, or let's say you went in a grocery store, and everything is just lumped in the middle of the grocery store. How often would you go back there? They segment it by aisles, right? And they segment it by brand and what it is. Think of your email as exactly the same thing. And then you want to send appropriate content in context. What does that mean? What do you think that means? Nina, what do you think that means? Content in context.
Something that could relate to maybe.
Yeah. Absolutely. Make it livable, that they can understand that's important to them. Create a simple survey. Here's a sample. Whoops, that was a quick sample. Anybody have any questions about the sample? That's how quick and easy it is. Just go to SurveyMonkey and you can, Andrew's having a good time with this. He put this together. This is my first time today. Can you tell us my first go?
No, it's
okay.
not.
So anyway, so this is a sample of a simple question. I did this, and we're not going to run this because it's about a little 5-minute process. I went ahead and said, hey, I'm going to take a screenshot of me going from 0 to complete on SurveyMonkey, establishing the account, everything, creating the template, creating the question, and hitting send to my email list. Took less than 5 minutes. Okay? So if you think, yeah, I don't have time for this, you do have time, because think of how much time it would save you if you knew exactly who you're talking to, and you can say, I can speak to these people and only talks about this topic. And it's not like Staples trying to sell me Tide or Bounty or whatever else it is, those school supplies. So here's a recap. Any questions so far? I thought somebody had asked me, Jeff, why aren't you wearing green today? Let me think that. Here's the thing. I heard this morning, this was the number one reason in the top 10. First of all, it's happy St. Patrick's Day for those of you guys that did not know that was, okay? Blue was actually the first color that represented St. Patrick's Day. How many of you knew that? Yeah, it was changed in about the 1800s. So this was actually St. Patrick's blue. In the 1800s, because it was a light color, I try to cover everything, it allowed green to become the color. So if I'm wearing blue today, I know Andrew's wearing blue, Amy, no, she's not. Okay, so segmentation, good. It's not as hard as we might think. Surveys, one question with ranges, right? One question with ranges. It's going to be tempting to put a lot of questions on there. Do one and move on. That's a start. Opening questions have their place. But keep in mind, when you send an opening question out, it's a little harder because now it forces you to read every one of those. But sometimes you might want to know that once you segment it. Like, what's the most challenging series of 10 emails? Wow, what a great piece. It's helping that specific group that said, these are the 10 challenges I have, right? Keep their content in context. Don't be like Staples and say, let's just put it all out there and see if it sticks on anybody. Better responses and revenues. Anybody interested in not getting better responses or revenues? Mm-hmm. You probably want to have both hands there because Andrew's taking pictures in the back. So we have a little saying, and it goes like this: people remember and make decisions based on differences, not similarities. Will you be different and stand out because you segment your database, or just decide to be average and complain email marketing does not work? Now, if you like that, I wrote that. If you don't, Andrew's taking full credit for it. There's a guy, anybody listen to Seth Godin? Seth Godin, he calls it the purple cow. You know, if you drive by and you see those black and white cows out there, do any of them stand out? Or are they just all black and white? Just all black and white, right? But if all of a sudden there's a purple and white cow out there, does that catch your attention? Strive to be the purple cow. Do something different. Find out what other people are doing and don't do it. That's like one of the number one marketing rules from Ogilvy that says, find out what everyone else is doing and do it differently. Don't do it. It's amazing how powerful that is. Did you guys like this today? Yes. Thank you so much. You'll be given a yes. Oh, yes, sir.
The Survey Monkey, is that the service?
Yes, and it's a free service, and you can do up to 10 questions. No, but we will give multiple age brackets, right? Because I want to segment that. It'll show you exactly who's going into what, as far as your numbers are concerned, and it'll give you on a graph. Okay. Any other questions? Now, Ron's passing around a survey. This is real important because it's a multiple choice survey. If you find you can't give us 100% on there, just please leave it on the desk, sign your name, and I'll fill those out for you later. Please, I would like you to join us next week. Next week, Andrew, come on out, because Andrew's going to tell us where we are next week.
We are on Tuesday morning at 7:30 at a venue near you.
Palm Desert. We're at Palm Desert Chamber of Commerce.
Morning.
Thursday
morning, 26th.
Thursday, 26th. We do it on Thursday. They're just to confuse. No, we don't do it because they have events going on Tuesday. So we go on Thursday. You're invited even if you're not a Palm Desert Chamber member. Now, last time we were there, we had about 33, I think, that were there.
Yes, we did, yeah.
And so when you come, not only is it a great opportunity to learn another little piece about how you can use these tools on internet to get your business better, but you can also then do a little networking with like-minded folks. Now, before you leave, first of all, I want to thank you for coming. The second piece is I want to remind you, how many of you have for Amy and I, we actually were doing some filming and we were creating some videos for them. And we got to interview about how many, 20 or so? Yeah. 20 or so of their mentors. And every time we got done, Amy and I looked at them going, why haven't we used these guys? It's crazy. We're here a lot. And so we decided to go through the mentoring. It helped us focus our activities a lot more because we got to use them as sounding board and some suggestions. So if you're not using them as a resource, I would recommend you do. From anything from how to write a business plan, deciding on your ideal target market, you name it, they can cover it. If they can't, they'll find somebody who will within their organization of 13,000, 14,000 mentors. So please use them. They're available Monday through Friday from 9 to noon.
Or at different times by special appointment too, in other words, we're here every week and we're here on Saturdays by appointment. But also somebody wanted an afternoon or a night, it's not impossible to have, a different time.
Right.
And then next week, we're going to be at Palm Desert week after we take a week off. And then
Amy or Andrew, myself or Ron, and we'd love to help you out specifically. And Debbie, Debbie over here in the corner.
Yeah, tell them that we, to get an appointment, which is free and confidential. Make an appointment at the front desk, and it's Monday through Friday, usually 9 to 12.
I think she just said that. But you can